Nope. You don't want to talk about how I put my Hooter Girl outfit on the other night? Those orange shorts paid for college.
Fitness Adopter Avengers. Activate.
Activate.
You know, start with the plate. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'm fine. Just give me the reps.
Just figure it out.
Fuck it.
You're fine. You're basically picking up.
I hurt myself on the very first fucking.
It's basically like picking up bubbles to start.
Yeah. It's picking up bubbles. No, it's less.
A little less.
A little less than bubbles. Literally, I've thought about making a video of me putting on like straps and a belt for waffles every morning.
Yeah.
Of how like I brace myself with waffles. It's like picking up one of those like stones, the strongman stones.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So quiet in here.
I know. So what's the deal with these two Yorkies?
Oh hell!
Right
Before we got here, we were talking about like the content for the gym and back home, and he's like, "Or we can go to the shelter," and I'm like, "We can't go to the shelter because we don't know how to have
Just
willpower."
to network. Just
Sure.
to
He's like, "Let's go to the
network.
shelter to network." There's two. It's actually one Yorkie that's 12 and came in with a sibling that's a Shih Tzu that's like 10 or 11, and they're both mad as hell. And if I see those dogs, we are
on
taking
site.
those dogs. It's
No,
on
we
site.
have no space.
Well, I'll always make space.
Steph
Always make
thinks
room.
that there's
When
always
they're
room for little
littles,
dogs.
It's easy.
No, that's not how that works.
Let's go to the shelter to network.
It's not how I talk.
It's not how we operate.
You want to go 185?
Yeah.
Bubbles actual size?
Yeah. Now I'll probably move up to this. If I'm going 6. No, who's texting me right now? Please stop. My phone always has to be on silent.
You're not allowed to check your
Because
phone?
The amount of calls and text messages I get on a daily basis is absurd. Nope. Teamwork.
Oh, you want to fill everyone in on the hoarder case in Plano?
The hoarder case?
The hoarder case in Plano?
Colony.
Oh, Colony.
Yeah. Well, it's all done. They've finally been arrested. They weren't arrested initially, even though the animals were seized, just because they were gathering evidence and building a case. So they've finally been arrested and charged. Both people, I don't know if they were like in a relationship or related. I honestly didn't read too much into it, but it's a middle-aged man, middle-aged woman, and they both are going to get anywhere from 2 to 10 years.
Per charge.
Yeah, per charge. No, I think it's total.
No, per charge.
Okay.
It was each count, and it was 4 counts of animal
cruelty.
cruelty. Each one can carry 2 to 10 years.
Okay, so hopefully a while. But it was a number of owner surrenders that they were taking in. They were posing as a rescue. I believe they did have their 501c3. And it was a bunch of owner surrenders, and all the dogs were purebred dogs. Boer bulls, mastiffs,
Boerboels?
Great Danes, yeah,
Four barrels.
Kangles. So
Yeah, crazy breeds.
yeah, But yeah, thankfully justice was served on this one. Hopefully other shelters will take note of how it's done. And, if people see more cases like this pop up where justice is actually served, maybe it will stop other people from doing awful things like this.
You know what's crazier?
What's
Or the
crazier?
craziest part about it?
Speak up.
The craziest part about it is it was the daughter that reported
Daughters.
them on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like residential area, something like that to go on that long where the daughter had to step up and do it.
Yeah.
That's sad. Good on her.
Yeah.
How many bubbles is this?
2 bubbles.
2 bubbles?
Maybe a bubbles and a half, really.
No, it's 3 bubbles.
2 bubbles.
405? Work
Okay.
on your math.
I was like, okay.
2.5.
2.5 bubbles. Si se puede.
Ah, you had it.
Huh?
You had it.
Nah. I didn't have that last one.
Yeah, you did.
Up. Pull. Come on, up. Come on. One more. I don't know why I pep talk. He has his headphones on. I'd like to think that he could hear me. I should probably talk shit while he's lifting. Oh, look, he took his headphones off. Never mind. Great job. It's like training, not necessarily training back with a shirt on, but when you're filming a workout and you can't see that body part.
So you don't like film topless, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not going to go topless.
We'd probably get more views.
Probably.
Oh, you want to fill everyone
He's
in?
never prepared. Always
You're-
stealing my stuff. What?
Yeah, you're live with Becca. Your fancy game plan,
Oh,
your big plans, your bright future.
sure. So Becca is the director of development for Yaqui Rescue, which is located damn near on the border of Texas, burping, Mexico. So she's about 9 hours south from here. And their stray animal population it's over 1 million stray animals roaming that area. She can get in her car and drive to the store and see a pack of 15 dogs. So it's never ending, and there's no rescuing, adopting our way out of our situation here in Dallas, let alone in South Texas. So we wanted to create a community, an alliance of sorts, of good, reputable rescues that are doing it for the right reasons. We've seen recently a lot of not so great rescues and sanctuaries that have popped up, that are dog hoarders, that are taking in animals because they have a lot of pledges and they're collecting donations and just filling their pockets. And it's terrifying as a rescue trying to find other really great rescues to work with in order to, displace animals from Texas to other locations. So we want to create almost like an application process where other rescues apply, and we get general information, board of directors. We do a home check of their facility if they have one. We speak to their fosters, previous adopters, to make sure that we're getting the full picture of what are these rescues and what they're about, so that we can work with them and get animals out of places like Texas to the Pacific Northwest, to the Northeast, where there isn't the problem that we have here. But in order to do that, we have to make sure that those other rescues are good, that we're just not sending animals off to a worse place. So we're in the very beginning stages of all of that and planning all that out, if we're gonna have a website or it's just gonna be an application process. So we'll fill you guys in as it grows, but we're really excited about it.
Opal's birthday.
Huh?
Opal's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about taking my shirt off, but
We're in the works of planning Opal's
quinceañera.
quinceañera. Celebrate her 15th. Opal's been with us 3 years now.
yeah,
No?
we're gonna have a whole
Sweet girl.
mariachi band playing, and I'm gonna make a dress for her because I never had a quinceañera. So I'm gonna take all of that.
You're gonna live vicariously through
and I'm
Opal,
gonna live
is what you're doing.
vicariously through our dog.
You're stealing her spotlight. Yes, we rescued Opal at 12 from DAS, and she's the only dog. I don't even know if you've done this, that we've adopted day one.
You adopted that dog
Yeah,
day one.
No, literally the first night, Opal would hang out in it sounds bad, our hallway. That was like her little designated area. And
She just liked the hallway.
Yeah. That's what I was laying with, and I told Steph she's not going anywhere. But 700 dogs rescued now, and she's the only one. Literally the first night, I was like, nope, she's staying. Sweet girl. 3 years later, still kicking.
Yeah, you want to tell everyone what Sweet Girl did last night?
That's not totally her fault. That's mostly your fault.
Oh, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
That's part of being a responsible dog owner, and you were not. You
Yes.
put Opal in that position.
Yes. Most of our dogs in the house, for the exception of our bedroom, which are all seniors, are crate trained. Everyone is crate trained in our house. Our room is a bunch of seniors and dogs that
Permanent residence.
don't have to go
Yeah.
to a different home later. So crate training is not as essential as the other dogs in the house. Anyways, apparently we're shitty dog owners because Opal has now taken a liking to looking on top of our dressers to see what she can grab. And last night I had a heat lamp, it wasn't plugged in, thank God, that I've been putting on Sue and Puggy because they're little baked potatoes and they like to snuggle up at night with a heat lamp. And it was unplugged on our dresser that is this high on top of the dresser, and Opal grabbed it, threw it on the ground, shattered everywhere, and chewed the corners of it. We were walking in to feed them. We didn't even hear it fall. And we walk in, we separate everyone. Thank God Amanda was there. She grabbed one of the dogs and we separated, cleaned it up. Then we fed all of them and they're back in the room. They went potty back in the room. And I don't know, we're in the middle of rotating and Opal eats out of a slow feeder because she inhales her food. And it's a ceramic, really heavy slow feeder. And we picked up all the bowls when they went outside and one of us must have put it on the dresser. And Opal thought maybe there's still a morsel of food left in my slow feeder.
One of us.
One of us.
One of us.
And
Interesting.
she flipped it and it shattered everywhere. Again. One of us.
One of us. Bullshit. It was definitely Steph. That's the one of us. My sweet girl, Opal.
Destructive ass dog.
You know what's super funny too? Is she's been doing this for probably 6 months, but 99% of the time, it's your stuff.
Oh, it's always my stuff.
She won't go on my side of the nightstand. Like I could have anything laying there and she won't touch it. She'll go out of her way to just take stuff from Steph's nightstand.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's even gone as far as taking my pillows
from her side of the
and
bed.
destroying pillows off of my side of the bed.
Not mine though.
So now Opal is going to go in the crate when we're not home.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What are you teaching people? We're supposed to be responsible dog owners.
Yeah, put
and
your
crate
stuff
training
away.
is good. Put my pillows
Because
and our comforter
is Shadow
away?
crate trained?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Fine. How is Shadow's basic obedience?
How's Opal's?
Damn.
Yeah.
She got me there. Well,
Get out of here.
do as we say and as we do.
Yeah, huh?
Look, it's different when there are personal dogs. That's a big part of it too, okay? Focus.
Well,
Focus. I'm
and
talking. Do your set.
we're never getting rid of these dogs. People get rid of dogs for really stupid reasons.
Yes. Well, also, we have to be so on top of rules and structure and training with 99% of the dogs we take in because we're getting them ready for adoption. So when it's our personal dogs, I like to let loose a little bit. That sounds really bad, huh? I don't know. But my point is, we have to be really strict. Like, we have to work with some of the dogs on jumping, even though that doesn't bother me as a dog owner. But like Candace, I make sure I correct her so that when she goes into a home, big ass Roddy, she's not jumping on people because it makes her more adoptable. When it's our personal dogs, like, I let them let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Fucking all-time great song.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Where's the first time you ever heard this song? This is going to show our age gap.
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
So, well, maybe not 90s ladies.
What?
This song, the first time you heard it, where'd you hear it from?
I was probably working at Hooters.
Yeah, so I was a child playing
Wow, way to
Nintendo.
age me, dude. I was working at Hooters. He was playing with Legos.
No, Nintendo.
Oh.
It was on a BMX. I think it was Tony Hawk or it was BMX. It was one of those games, but this song was on it. Yeah, it was one of the intro songs. Yeah. I was playing Nintendo. Steph was at Hooters.
You don't want to talk about how I put my Hooter Girl outfit on the other night? I wanted to see if it still fit,
I didn't.
like a glove.
I didn't say.
What?
I'm flustered. I don't know. What to
Oh,
say.
now you're flustered.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Come on,
nice.
lift.
It was
I don't
nice.
have time. We're pressed for time. Let's go. Those orange shorts paid for college.
The what?
Thank you, Hooters.
Huh?
I said those orange shorts paid for college.
You know, it's crazy. You have a college degree and you rescue dogs for free.
I'm a fucking idiot. But it has helped, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh no, I'm talking about Hooters.
Oh.
See how many bowls I can
Fuck's
carry?
sakes.
How many bowls I can carry at once? That's from waitressing and
Not
bartending
the,
for
not
years.
the college degree,
Not my
though.
college degree. Hooters has really propelled my career in a different flight path, but still, nonetheless, a lot of really solid experiences.
We do get through feeding the dogs really quick.
What?
So we do get through feeding the dogs really quick.
It's true.
That's plus.
What do you mean?
We rotate
Going
in
home?
dogs.
Rotating dogs? That's all we do?
We networking at the shelter.
No, we're not going to the shelter today.
Poor Yorkies.
Yeah, poor Yorkies. It's your fault.
It's not my fault.
You said no more dogs.
I
Said no more dogs.
said maybe we go take a look.
Oh, now the cameras are on. He's like, let's go take a look. No? Nope. I honestly thought yesterday, Becca, coincidentally, posted a Malinois. You know, she had 12 puppies.
The Malmom?
12.
Yeah.
They found this Malinois that was left behind after someone moved. and they just left their dog behind. And the Malinois looked like she had just had a litter of puppies, and people went over there and the puppies were under the house. And I showed Duke the picture and the videos, and I was like, he's for sure gonna say yes because it looks like Lola and that little crew of crazy alligators. But I think that was the crew that almost made Duke quit rescue. And she had 9, so 12 alligators. I don't think we'd survive that right now, especially with the crew that we have in our house currently. But I thought for sure he'd be like, let's go get her, and he didn't break yesterday.
Well, you did more than that. You tried to tempt me. I had to block your number.
I did try to tempt him yesterday.
A lot of resiliency, willpower.
It's awful. It's very upsetting.
But there's no way we could take in a litter of puppies right now.
No, we would die. Yeah. We would actually die.
Yeah, we weren't doing YouTube with Lola, huh? Or we kind of did.
I mean, he has a bunch of footage of Lola.
Lola is one of my favorite rescues all time.
Yeah.
But that crew also is about as close as I think both of us has been to just completely burnt out. Lola and how many pups did she have? 9 male malpups. And I mean like babies. And it was a lot. Malinois are just a whole different breed, especially dealing with puppies. There's no way with the amount of dogs we have right now, we can allocate enough time to care for them like that.
Who's your favorite dog in the house right now?
Oh, that's tough. Are you talking about adoptable dog or a dog that's a permanent resident?
Adoptable.
Okay, because I was gonna say like Opal, Linda.
Yeah. The huge.
Honestly, I really like Candace.
Yeah, she's pretty sweet.
Candace, I love Rotties, and Candace is wicked smart. Like stupid smart dog. Very sweet.
Yeah.
And like a good amount of drive, but it's not out of control.
Yeah. She's a really good dog.
So I mean, Candace is just super well-rounded. Man, I don't know. Candace, Anakin's obviously in there. Yeah. I know. It's crazy, dude. I like dogs that don't like me a whole lot.
Wonderful.
Although Anakin likes me, his issues with you.
Yeah,
I guess.
Anakin doesn't like me.
No, Anakin's fun because Anakin's a challenge, and I like dogs that are a challenge. Candace, Anakin, Beth is a permanent resident, so she doesn't count. What about you? Besides Chateau.
Well, yeah.
Adoptable dog.
Muppet.
Muppet's not adoptable though.
Well, okay.
I was gonna say Muppet too. Muppet's awesome. Oh, Moose
and Doug.
Oh, Doug's cool.
I love Dougie.
Doug's a dude.
He's just like, his mentality is almost like a kid, like just happy-go-lucky, not a care in the world. He's just so sweet. And every time you come out, he does this like little squints, like his little face grin and squints, and he's like full body wiggles. So I think he might be top, one of my favorites for sure. And then Moose, because Moose.
That's actually where we differ quite a bit.
On personality types.
Yeah, I like dogs that test you a little more.
Careful.
They're a little more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And Steph likes her needy, goofy boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, I think Moose is needier than Doug. Doug's just very carefree. He's just a good soul, just easygoing. Yeah.
I feel like he's like a fresh soul, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like new to the world.
Who's your least favorite dog in the house? Biggest challenge.
Least favorite dog in the house.
Steph has a problem with fixation.
With what?
Fixation. Dogs that are hyper fixated. Well, that's Steph's pet peeve.
I mean, Sophie for sure. Yeah, quarter. Sophie, I think. I want to say I hate saying least favorite.
No, not least favorite. You know what I mean.
But the one that pushes my buttons the most, I guess you can say, Sophie for sure, because like Duke said, I'm not a fan of dogs that are fixated on certain things. Like, for instance, right, she just had surgery to remove her mass, so she's in a cone. And there's only been a handful of dogs in our rescue that are like resilient to pain medication / sedatives.
Oh, that is
Okay?
actually nuts.
And Sophie is on, because her incision is this big.
We'll just call it the bad dog protocol.
Yeah.
It's what
And
dogs get like Simba that are human aggressive. And
in
when
order
Simba,
to bring them in. Yeah.
Simba goes in for his annual, again, like highly human aggressive dog, it's basically knocking them out so they can be handled.
Yeah.
And Sophie is on that protocol, and we'll insert clips of Sophie on that protocol.
It's
insane.
And I asked our vet, and she's like, yeah, absolutely. There are dogs that are just resilient to sedatives. So trying to keep her calm so that incision will stay closed, because she's already popped 2 stitches, has been a nightmare. So anyways, she's gone through like 5 different cones now.
Yeah.
And
we should make an art project out of it.
Yeah. The last time that we were changing her cone out, I was refilling a water bowl, and we use those plastic gallons just because it's easier than turning on the hose every single time. And she saw the gallon and wanted to play with it. It's crunchy, it makes a fun sound. And I was trying to get it away from her, and she was so fixated on it that Duke had to come out and like grab her, because I was holding it here, and she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she's still in the broken cone, like slicing me up. Like, so that's for me, one of those things that it's just a pet peeve of a dog that just gets fixated on either certain animals or certain things, where it's like you can't even break them of it.
No, least favorite was a bad way to word it.
Yeah.
It's like a parent, every parent has their first kid.
Parents also have favorites.
Yeah, every parent has their first kid, and it's very much like by the book, conservative, and then by the 3rd, 4th kid, like gentle parenting's out the window.
That's why I'm an only child.
Justin's nodding his head right now. Yeah.
Because my mom just loved me so much.
That's what it was.
She's like, I can't imagine having another one. Like, I want all of my life
truly.
to go to little Estefanita.
That's what it was.
No, actually, she had awful complications.
She was like, I had one kid.
And couldn't have kids after me.
And this one kid has brought home 18 animals. I can't afford another child. But no, Sophie is hyperfixated. That's what we're working through right now with her. And while she's recovering, we just can't do a whole lot of it, but she's going to need be a dog that needs a lot of exercise physically, mentally. And we're going to have to really iron out her impulse control, kind of like Lola. So just a lot of impulse control work before she's ready for adoption for sure, but very sweet dog overall.
Sorry, I had to answer that one. Whenever emails come through about adopting a dog, especially if it's from like Pet Finder, you got to get on top of it.
Oh,
Pet Finder
adopt
and Adopt a Pet. Yeah, whenever there's inquiries that come in, because it's like a dating site. It's like people are swiping left, swiping right, whatever it is. I don't know the terminology. But anyways, people go down the rabbit hole of getting on like Adopt a Pet, and they see one dog and they go to the next one and they're sending inquiries.
Well, you can imagine, like, because you could personalize what you want.
Right.
So if somebody's looking for a Doberman that's good with other dogs, they're going to be inundated with like 30 different dogs. And sometimes those platforms could just send out applications to things that meet your criteria too.
Right.
So if you don't get back to them within 24 hours, like they've already set up meets with other dogs. You had to be quick.
So I saw one come through asking a question about Taz.
Oh, nice.
Puppies. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Here you are.
Do you want to we could do the pit shark row. We could do a Smith row. That's Steph's way of saying I want to go home. That's Steph at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's how I wake up in the morning. Shut up. No, that's at 3 a.m. when your girl Rain decides she wants to howl.
Rain is an angel. How dare you? Watch your mouth.
Okay. Anyways, insert clip here of Rain at 3:30 in the morning singing the songs of her people.
Being the cutest girl ever.
Yeah, okay.
You know what you did. Hey! Back to bed. Girlfriend. Why?
morning, Duke was shopping to put together our home gym.
Oh,
So
not
we
shopping.
never-
It's making a dream
Wish list.
bucket list. Yeah. There's no
Making-
shopping with our budget.
Making a wish list of what we would put together in a
Yeah.
home gym, so we never have to leave our house. Never leave the compound.
Yeah, no, we got
It's
enough
probably
like
not healthy that we don't leave our house.
we got. I mean,
much.
look. On a serious note, that probably because occasionally gets asked like, "What's your guys' need outside of dog rescue?" If we had a home gym that actually saves us 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
because it's an hour in the gym and then it's an hour commute both ways, like total round trip. Like we get those 2 hours back. That's the difference between finishing at like 11:30 midnight and 10 o'clock.
True. And it also means that we can do 2 hours out of the house elsewhere, like go on a date,
That'd be cool.
you know? Maybe get my nails done.
I don't know. Let's start leveraging our connections here.
Do we have any connections?
We got Dusty. We got India. Who else in the fitness industry here? Tuttles.
The Tuttles. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Dusty, India, Tuttles.
You guys.
I need you guys
the
to-
Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers. Our
Work
fitness
together.
adopter Avengers. I need you to get in touch with Flex Lewis and convince him to donate a bunch of his arsenal stuff to us for nothing.
Not that they need any more
We
marketing. They don't
gifted
need
you
it.
with your dogs, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
They don't need any more marketing.
No, he doesn't need us.
No, we need you. No, friend, we need you.
Fitness adopter Avengers. Activate.
Activate.
Be here anymore. It's classic.
This is a song he wakes up to every morning.
That's pretty good.
Insert, I'll grab a clip tomorrow of Duke waking up in the morning. Him and Slurpee wake up the same way. Startled. Startled.
Slurpee and I have alarming similarities,
Yeah.
for sure. Slurpee and a little bit of Shadow, too. With his little bed head,
Oh, yeah. No, you and Muppet.
me and Muppet.
She always has little snackies in her beard.
Yeah, little drool outlines.
I have to fucking remind myself when I make all these faces while I'm training that Botox is expensive. I can't be just gonna look like this while I'm training. Haven't gotten Botox in like a year and a half. There's no time to go inject my face.
They're still pretty.
Oh, you're so sweet. Everyone's first date should be the eye doctor. Because Duke is pretty much blind. Can't see very well. So it's great. He doesn't see new lines on my face. Or gray hair. Or dimples. Oh, fuck.
You know, it's kind of funny. I think technically one of our first outings was the eye doctor.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw what a big baby he was.
Was that planned?
Oops. We actually did go to the eye doctor early on.
The dots are connecting. It was a test.
The optometrist was like, yeah, this guy's blind. I'm like,
Sweet, got it.
perfect. What's his vision like? Great.
Don't
It's
fix
only
it.
going to get worse? Wonderful. Tell him there's no fix.
Said, man, he just needs glasses. I said, no
Don't-
fix.
Don't tell him that. I actually changed your prescription on your eyeglasses to make your eyes worse. So he can't do anything without me because he can't even really see at night to drive. So he needs me for everything. It's wonderful.
Doug, you say hello to everyone. Yes, you say hello to everyone.
So this is one of my favorites in the house right now. Dougie here was the second peer that we found. What now? 2 months ago? Month and a half ago?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. He want to say hi? Okay, go sniff him. Go sniff him. Oh, good boy. Come here. So everyone can see your little face. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I see a dog running down that road, and I open our door, go to our driveway, and he's hanging out in our driveway. And yes, Pyrenees roam. Any dog will roam if you have crappy fencing. So I posted him on our neighborhood Facebook page, and a few neighbors said, oh yeah, I do recognize that dog. I've been feeding him for a few months. Does he have a injured dew claw? And sure enough, he had an embedded dew claw in the back. We have gotten him neutered, vaccinated, microchipped, and he is looking for his forever home. He's a great dog.
He
He
also
gets
had
along.
a terribly matted tail.
Oh God, his tail was
Looked like a mermaid
so
tail.
matted. But he's great with other dogs. He plays like a goofball. He's about 1.5 years old. But he's definitely one of my favorites in the house right now. Yeah. What is that camera? Okay. He's like,
I'm a
no.
little nervous.
You want to go say hi? Okay, go.
The zips.
Go say hi. He said, go say hi.
I don't know about that camera.
Go say hi. Yes, a good boy.
What a do.
Oh, what? A doggy fresh. It's a doggy fresh. You go potty? He's like, lady, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Go, good boy.
Zoom so quick. No, but Doug is really sweet.
Yeah, he's a great
Doug's
dog.
very typical male peer. Like, he wants to be up your butt all day. Very affectionate. He's been great with big dogs, small dogs. Yeah, he's a unicorn dog, right?
Yeah, he really is.
Like, it's
Most
been great
peers
to have
are.
him. We have not cat tested him yet, though.
Yeah.
Not cat tested him. Oh, and you know what's odd about him? Not to say he won't resource guard around other dogs, because that is very much a genetic thing with peers, but he doesn't resource guard with me.
No, he
He
hasn't
does
with
the
me either.
same thing Bucky does, which is funny. Bucky, because it is something that's so innate in Pyrenees, if I go to mess with Bucky's food or water, he'll remove himself, because it's almost like he's like, oh, I know I'm gonna do it, so I'm gonna bail.
I
Doug
don't want
does
I
the
don't
same
want to
thing. If I go touch something, he'll just like, he's like, ugh, and he'll just remove himself.
Yeah.
He's like, I know it's coming.
You took a boy.
But that's very much so a peer thing. But no, Doug's been awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go. Come on.
I'll go grab Steve.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Hi, there, Stevie boy.
Hi, Steve.
You say hi to Dustin?
So I really like Steve, but that's because Steve is a little difficult. Steve, extremely sweet.
Let him sniff him.
Good boy.
The boy.
Good boy, Steve. Come here. Stevie, you're okay. Come here. Come here. He's just a little more timid. So, I mean, Steve, we found on the side of the road. We were able to lure him into the crate, load him into the Sprinter van with food, very food motivated. And he's been good with Steph and I. He's just a little more difficult to read. He does get very, very stiff. He does get a little fixated, especially when you're trying to get him to do something. But I'm not sure that it's so much him being a stubborn dog as it is him just trying to adapt to being a pet, right? Oh, it's a big stretch. Hi. But he's definitely more guarded than Doug. He's not as goofy. He's a little more stoic and serious. He's been okay sharing space with other dogs, but not as playful as Doug.
Yeah.
And I think part of that too is because him and Doug, when we brought him in, they were both unaltered. So there was kind of the tendency for them to butt heads.
Boy.
And then Barney was not thrilled that there was an unaltered dog in the house, so Barney was barking at him. Like a good boy. But I mean,
well,
this
he's
is kind
also
of the typical,
older.
and he is older.
Yeah, he's probably 5 is what we aged about. So he's gone his whole life being an altered and roaming, pretty much.
We hit every single house and shop in the vicinity, and everyone knew him, but nobody, he doesn't belong to anyone.
Yeah,
they're
like,
no,
oh,
he's been here for years.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's the neighborhood dog. And the last guy that we spoke to, because everyone's like, yeah, he kind of hangs out by the tire shop. I went over and he's like, well, yeah, I've been kind of hanging out with him, feeding him for about 4 months. And he goes, I tried to tether him to keep him in the back, and he was chewing through tethers.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I would much rather you guys take him than him end up being roadkill.
Well,
because
I think he
that's
did
what
say
it comes
he was
down to.
protective of a few people approaching the shop.
Yeah.
I think he said he scared a few customers, which again, pure being protective of the property, it's not abnormal. With Steve, we just got to evaluate a little bit further to make sure we have the right bio to set him up for the right home, because I think he's going to need a more experienced Pyrenees handler.
Yeah. And he might be fine with other dogs.
All right, good boy.
He just might need to be in a home with female-only dogs.
Yeah.
Like he might just be a strong-headed male.
Come here, Steve. Well, he actually seems to like males better.
Yeah.
Men, humans.
Yeah.
But as far as dogs go, yeah, he's definitely a more dominant dog than like Doug. Yeah. But I like Steve.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's one of those dogs, if I'm out here at night during last rotate and I sit down, he does this. He just wants to be on top of you and take pets.
Yeah.
It's a good boy. He's trying to fight it, but he wants to be a domesticated dog. That's basically what's going on.
I hear you. I hear you, Steve.
He's trying to fight it, but it's there. He's like, I kind of like the indoors and I kind of like getting pets and treats. I just don't want to show it too much yet. He's a good boy, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, look at you.
Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, the camera's on and all of a sudden you have a zoom?
He's like, no, guys, look, I got it. I can do it. I can do what Doug does. I can do it. Yeah.
It's because there's another man here?
Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. Come here, Stevie. Come here.
Okay.
Come here. Yeah, come here. Look at you. You a zoom?
I swear, I can be a pet.
Oh, look at you. Come in, let's go. Come here. Step on the camera.
What?
He's a good girl.
The camera's too expensive.
I know. Sit. Sit.
Look, he has snackies?
You're fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want some more? Okay. Oh, yeah, well,
Sit.
I think that's only fair.
So, okay, again, Candace is really bright. And she is well trained, believe it or not. We are working on excitement around new people, though. We learned that yesterday with Amanda. Training kind of goes out the window when she's excited.
Yeah, she wants to crawl into
Look at
people's
that nub.
faces. The little nubs.
Nub's just going crazy.
You're good, huh? I think you're good.
Good girl.
You're
Come here. You sit. Sit. Candy, sit. Sit. Good girl. So Candace we got from DAS. Definitely not our normal pull. She was just a dog. We had gone, 3 days in a row?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it was 3 days in a row. And she was in the adoptable side main room. And I was like, how is this Roddy still here? And she was just playing me like a fiddle. She was going up, rolling on her side, and just giving me big googly eyes. And it was killing me. So we ended up taking Candace home. We don't know what happened to her previous adopters. She was adopted from the shelter in September of 2024. And then she was found as a stray in January. And we picked her up.
Yes.
The shelter tried to call, text, email, sent a physical letter to her family, and then did it all over again, and they never heard back. So I have no idea what happened to her previous owners, or if they were just avoiding the shelter. Who knows? Sit. Oh, yes. But Candace, so far, temperament eval, she nailed it. As far as like messing with her ears, her little nubs, her paws, great. She's very cuddly. She's been awesome in playgroup. She's been playing really good with Barney. Yes, we're still working on corrections from other dogs. But I mean, so far she's been pretty phenomenal. The only thing with Candace is no cats. We know that for sure. She has not been a fan of the cats, but outside of that, pretty typical, goofy, cuddly, out of control Roddy. Hi. And then I will say the other thing with Candace though, is she is really smart. She's really smart, and it doesn't look like it right now. But when you're outside, easy, I know. Okay, we're going down. Okay. When you're outside with her one-on-one, she actually really loves working. Like Candace has been very good about impulse control, long hold, stop and start drill. So she would do best with an owner that enjoys training like that, because mentally and physically, it's good to stimulate her like that. Or she's going to be kind of a hyper out of control Roddy, and it's not like she'd, break something on purpose, but she needs that kind of stimulation throughout the day. Yeah, that's Candace.
Introducing Haus.
I was expecting him to be louder. He is a tank though.
Okay, I need you to be a good boy.
Haus is a tank.
Oh my God, I love this dog so much. Okay, so Haus was brought into the Dallas Animal Shelter when his family moved from a piece of property in Illinois and moved to an apartment in Dallas. And he obviously did not do well in the apartment. He's a very loud boy when he wants to be, and he is not leash trained. When he lived back home, he had acres to run in and was probably never on leash. But Haus is about 5 years old. Thanks. Oh yes, he loves Papa.
He melts when you pet him.
But we had seen him at the shelter a few times, and I'm like, how is this dog not being adopted? He's a purebred bloodhound who's super handsome. And the owners did write down in the notes that he was very loud, that he wasn't great on leash, and that he was resource guarding, which is also a thing with this breed. So I think it shied a few people away from adopting him. So, you know, after seeing him a few times and emailing the shelter a few days in a row and like, is he still there? Is he still in need? Is he still in need? They're like, yeah, he's still in need. Oh no, I'm sorry. We decided, all right, let's go get him. We actually met him. And once I met him, I was like,
yeah.
He dragged me through that shelter hallway like a rag doll. And once we got him here, I mean, he's such a good dog. We did test him with Bucky. He's a little timid, looked a little nervous, but we were able to take them both off leash and let them coexist. They were totally fine. He just didn't really feel the need to interact with Bucky, and we're okay with that. You know, we don't want to force dogs to play. That's not our prerogative. As long as he's not trying to murder another dog, we're totally fine.
I do think that'll get better too. I think he's just a timid dog.
Yeah.
Like even with the sounds out here, I don't know, you know, if they're really on a piece of property in Chicago or not. But fireworks, gunshots, he's extremely timid. So we're working on kind of desensitizing him to that.
Yeah.
And with Bucky, there's nothing with his body language that is a red flag for me.
Yeah.
He's not aggravated or stalking Bucky. It's more so just very timid.
Yeah.
If Bucky moves, he kind of wants to create space and get away. And I think that'll get better.
Yeah.
But he would definitely do better with a lower energy dog as of right now.
Yeah,
From what we're seeing.
Even though when he plays with us, he plays pretty rough. But I think
rough.
I think he doesn't have the self-confidence to have a super energetic dog in the same house with him yet. But he is almost available for adoption, I say. I think we just need to finish his temperament testing with small dogs and around cats. He walks by our cats constantly, but he doesn't really pay attention to them, or he really hasn't noticed them.
No.
I know he can smell them.
He's pretty indifferent.
But he really doesn't care.
I don't think he has much prey drive.
No. I should go about white.
No, but Haus, a lot of it too, similar to Bubbles. Bubbles we had seen, and then we saw he got adopted by the public, and then he was found as a stray because his owners couldn't afford to feed him, and they literally just threw him outside, and we're like, it's somebody else's problem. When we see breeds like that, like Bubbles, like Haus in the shelter, especially when they're in the main adoptable room, it worries us a little bit because it could sometimes attract the wrong crowd. And that's not necessarily a knock on city shelters.
No.
They don't have the means or the resources to really go through the full adoption protocol like Steph and I do. They can't fully vet people. They can't go do home checks.
I'm gonna get you off leash.
It's basically you show up to the shelter and you have your ID and $20.
Yeah.
And anyone can walk out with a dog.
Well, especially he's so handsome.
We didn't want to see the same thing happen where we regret not picking him up. And then 3 weeks later, we see him back at the shelter after going through something traumatic.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd step in, and I mean, with a dog like this, I feel like we're going to get some hits pretty quick. He really is a good dog.
Anyways,
like a boy.
This is Haus.
Hi, Haus.
And his magnificent ears.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Look at you.
Hi, old Dan. Oh, bless you.
Quick video of just Dan. Because as soon as Surfy comes out, she's going to want to be...
She's going to steal the show.
She's going to be all about it. Oh, Sir Dan. Sir Dan, he is such a good boy.
So old Dan was found in a cat trap.
Yeah.
He was found in a cat trap and brought into the shelter. Which shelter was it? It was a different
Greenville.
one. Greenville.
Yep.
Senior, he's totally deaf, heartworm, high positive. And when we picked him up, like he could barely breathe.
The
he'd
coughing
take
was
like
so
3-4
bad.
steps, and he had to stop and almost lay down because he just couldn't catch his breath. So he's on the right meds now, and that's helping a lot. And he could actually start heartworm treatment next week.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the protocol for those that don't know with heartworm treatment? Because it's a timeline.
Right. So heartworm treatment, there's a few different options, but the way that we do it with our vet is the dogs are on 30 days of doxycycline, and they take their heartworm preventative when they first arrive to our rescue. And then they're on that doxycycline for 30 days. And then they take their second preventative, because dogs typically have their preventative once a month. And once they have those 2 preventatives back to back in the 30 days of doxy, you can start with your first injection. Because he's a little bit older, typically dogs over the age of 7, we do 3 injections. So he'll get his first injection on, let's say, March 1st, and then he'll get his second injection April 1st, third injection April 2nd. So he'll do 3 injections altogether. And during that time period when he gets his first injection, second and third, it's 30 days of crate rest from March 1st to April 1st, and then 30 days of crate rest from April 1st through the next month. So 60 days total of rest time. Because he's a senior dog, it's super easy. He's not sprinting around getting his heart rate up. It's really, really important after those dogs get their injections to keep their heart rate down because the worms are dying off. And if you get their heart rate up, the worms can travel out of the heart into the lungs, causing them to basically drown. So it is really, really important to keep their heart rate down when they're going through their injections and protocol of heartworm treatment.
Well, and with old Dan, he does have a mass. Sorry, I'm recording for Patreon, also exception. With old Dan, he does have a mass. Typically, if it's especially a younger dog and the heartworm's not severe, we would have gone and removed that mass first and then dealt with the heartworms. Because his heartworm cough was so bad, we decided to deal with that first. Do you want to explain why we do that?
So after heartworm treatment, a dog can't go under anesthesia for 4 to 6 months post their injections because they're going to, one of the side effects is potentially throwing a clot. So we have to have a time period where the dog is recovering from the heartworm injection before they can go under anesthesia. So depending on the severity of the heartworm and other medical needs, we'll prioritize one over the other depending on the dog.
You know, we had to knock out the heartworm treatment first. And the mass, again, you never know. It just, we've seen a lot of masses, and our vet has too, obviously. It doesn't look super scary, so we're optimistic. His labs outside of what you would expect with a stray dog look good. So it was a judgment call. Same thing with Savannah. Savannah, we opted to get the heartworms taken care of first.
Right.
So it's dependent dog to dog.
Right. But Dan is roughly 12 years old, completely deaf.
Yeah.
He sounds like a sea lion when he
would be
gets
great,
his beagle howl going.
Like porch dog.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's great with dogs.
Yep.
He's pretty indifferent. He's out here with Slurpee, Shadow,
And Merlin.
Yep.
Um,
And he just trots around and does his thing, just totally indifferent.
He sleeps like a rock. Typically
Yes.
deaf dogs do, where it's like once they're out, there's nothing waking him up. You kind of have to give him a good little shake.
You do have to be a little careful about waking him up.
Super food motivated, which is probably what got him in the cat trap in the first place.
Yes.
That brought him into the shelter.
He also likes cat food.
He does.
We used some cat food to get him to take his meds the first few days.
Yeah.
I was like, I understand how you ended up in that cat trap, bud.
But he is just such a great senior dog.
He reminds me a little bit of Dean.
Yeah, he's gonna make someone very, very happy.
Yeah,
like
so
us.
We just
He's not going anywhere.
prior to him being available for adoption, get through heartworm treatment, remove the mass. We'll send the mass off, also like we do with all of them, to get the biopsy results back. Oh, big stretch. And then I think that was it, or did he need a dental?
He probably needs some teeth extracted
too. I think he needed a little bit of a dental, but then he'll be available for adoption. Yeah, good boy.
All right, let me bring out the crazy crew.
What shelter were we at? Oh, it was Timmy. When we picked up Timmy, Mesquite, there was a family that walked in with clearly their dog, but we were listening to the dad in the parking lot, and he was speaking Spanish. And I guess, I don't know,
He was coaching his kids.
Steph looks white, I guess. So I don't know. But he was talking in Spanish, and he was telling his kid to, the plan, like, hey, I need you to go up and tell them we found this dog. It's not our dog. You're going to tell them we found the dog here. So this guy walks in with his son and daughter, and they're probably like, what, 10?
Yeah, they were young.
Like kids, but the kid spoke English, and I'm assuming the dad didn't. And the kid explains the story, and you could tell it's like a rehearsed, like, well, it's not our dog. We found him here. And the guy goes, okay, like, here we go.
Here we go again.
It's like, well, we actually don't take in dogs from that jurisdiction. It's just this city. You have to go over here. So they walk to like the end of the lobby, and the kid translates to the dad, and the dad translates back again, thinking nobody in the building speaks Spanish, I guess. And he's like, okay, well, tell him we did find the dog in this area. And he's like, well, Dad, he also said we have to.
I think he said like, oh,
yeah. We have to say we tried to find the owners, and we didn't. It's our dog. And he goes, no, it's not our dog. He goes, tell him we put up flyers too. And we asked, and I was like, oh my God.
At the end of it, they just ended up taking the dog because it was just, the guy at the front desk was just so over it.
But my point being, we're so jaded because of stuff like that when we see somebody bring in a stray dog. And there are people that actually genuinely bring in stray dogs. Good
obviously.
Samaritans, 1000%. There are just a lot of stories that are nonsense like that. And if you talk to good shelter volunteers that have been there for a while, they'll tell you the same thing. It's like 50% of stray dogs are owner surrenders. One of my all-time favorites, Noelle, the senior shepherd we rescued
Last year.
Same thing. The person dropped her off and stray intake, and they ran the microchip because you have to give ID when you surrender a dog, and same number, same ID.
No.
To the guy.
They said that her owner died.
Owner died, yes. And
Except it was the person that dropped her off.
The person that dropped her off, and it was the person that dropped her off who adopted her.
I shouldn't be laughing, but
who adopted her 12 years prior from the same shelter.
Yeah.
I
shouldn't be
like,
laughing.
Dude.
But whenever we post on social media and we tell, the story of the dog and that it was surrendered or found as a stray or whatever, and then there's people on there like, you don't know the story, you don't know what happened, which is true. We don't.
Well, that's why in the caption, though, we are very to the notes.
Right.
It's other people that kind of piece it together, but I'm always, because I write the captions, very much so hey, these are the notes.
This is the information
do with it
we
what
were
you
given.
want.
Right.
And then there's people that are like, well, obviously, and I'm like, I'm just giving you guys the note. Like Goldie, there was a few people that were really angry with me because I was like, look, insert pictures of Goldie when we got her, okay? Obviously.
And she's going to come out here if
not well taken care of.
Yeah.
Owner surrender. And when I was writing up the caption, I was like, look, owner surrender, we don't have a whole lot of notes left. We are hoping they go do a home check, but that's not something we can control. The owner said she has a medical condition, so we'll see. And there's people like, are you stupid? She obviously just needs food. I'm like, I know. I'm giving you the notes. I don't like speculating. I mean, you guys can do your own speculating, and Steph and I obviously internally are like, yeah, that person's full of shit. And Goldie has gained weight, but on the Instagram side of it, I'm just going to give you the notes.
Right.
That is animal control's job. That's shelter intake's job. Steph and I, our job is to take the dogs and evaluate them, fix them up, get them feeling better, and focus on that. It's really easy for me to be angry at Goldie's old owners.
Yeah.
But if I sit in that, then Goldie can feel that, and that's not good for her.
It's not good for our mental state, too.
Or us. Goldie doesn't need me to be
imagine?
mad at her owner. She needs me to focus on her. So we get the notes, and I give you the notes, and, do what you want.
Shh. Occasionally, at the end of the night, we get pissed off.
Yes. All right,
Goldie is
Goldie.
your girl.
Yep. So Goldie, it was actually a shelter volunteer who got in contact with Steph and was basically like, hey, I saw this girl. She's right up your alley. And I think she was red listed. Or no, not yet?
I think she was medical listed, but we had seen her on a Facebook post the night before, and we were going to email the shelter about her. And the networker was there that morning and was like, have you seen this girl? And I'm like, yep, I just emailed the shelter about her. And she sent me over some other videos of her that we hadn't seen. And what got us was she was adopted from the shelter 10 years prior when she was 1.
Hi.
And she was a thick little thing then. And to see a dog that was adopted from the shelter and brought in the condition that she was brought in was it was just really, really upsetting.
Well, and the owners actually named her Fat Mama.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, I don't know, a little too far maybe.
Yeah, a little too far with the condition that she was in. But she has now been with us for 3 weeks, and we put her on a feeding schedule where it was 4 small meals throughout the day, because a dog that is really emaciated, you can't just overfeed them. Yeah. It can really, really hurt their
they could potentially die.
Kidney values.
Their kidney values, electrolytes. If you guys, for whatever reason, are in a position where, probably not from a shelter because it should be rescue only.
Yeah.
But I've seen it happen.
Dogs that are dumped on the side of the road.
Yeah, there was somebody that, I think it was a volunteer or somebody, but posted that they found this dog on the side of the road severely emaciated, and they were like, first stop burger, then we're gonna go to the vet. And I was like, mid typing, like, fuck, don't do that. And I clicked on their page, and the next post was that the dog passed away, and I was like, and I felt terrible. But you can literally kill a dog doing that. So just, again, first stop always, if you find a new dog, go to the vet.
Yep.
Go to the vet, get their guidance first.
Yeah.
But
that's
she's officially on a normal feeding schedule now.
Yeah. So now she's getting fed twice a day. She's on a high calorie food right now, because it does seem like her metabolism is very high.
Yeah.
So she does need a good amount of food to keep the weight on. after we rescued her, I think it was 2 days after we rescued her that we found out through our ways of finding out that she actually did come in with another dog, and that wasn't on her initial notes. And if you guys know anything about us, if dogs come in together, we're rescuing the whole crew.
Even
we
if
don't.
it's Chevy Tahoe where they can't stand each other.
Yeah.
Like you come in together, you leave together.
Right.
And that's a situation where I'm glad Steph did some extra digging.
Yeah.
Because again, we rely on notes from the shelter. And granted, Jasmine at the rescue desk is awesome. I love Jasmine. It was a new person working the desk, and I don't think they understood how to get all of the notes, because we ended up getting a bunch of notes.
After the fact,
I'm not going to get anyone in trouble. We got notes from somebody else that helped us a lot with her, and also realizing, oh, they surrendered 2 dogs, which Birdie, her sister, and they're indifferent, definitely not bonded. They've met, but Goldie could just care less.
Yeah.
I think Birdie's like hyper puppy, but Birdie also emaciated, not as bad though, but she was covered in her own urine and feces.
Yeah.
So I mean, it looks like she was stuck in a crate, like it's cemented in there. So it's gonna be a lot.
We're thinking that because of how hyper Birdie is, that her previous owners couldn't stand that and kept her in a small crate, because where the stains are, it's on her chest and on her belly and on her arms. So it's how she was laying down in a crate full of feces. So yeah, I mean, now that they're both on a great feeding schedule, they look normal. She could probably gain another 2 to 3 pounds. But she's also a senior dog that probably has, some muscle atrophy.
Yeah.
So she's not going to gain weight as quickly as Birdie, but she's a really, really sweet dog. Once she is fully healed, and we've done all of our temperament testing with her, we'll put together a proper bio for her and make her available for adoption.
The only thing really left, because I've ran through her temperament eval. I mean, she's not a resource guard, or she's deaf, so no issues with sounds.
Yeah.
She's good being handled. With Bucky, she was fine but scared.
Yeah.
So we kind of shut that down after the initial meet, just to let her fully, get her weight back on, get a little stronger, get comfortable, because dogs know when they're vulnerable and they know when they're weak. And I think because of that, Goldie's a little more timid, and we don't want her to have a bad experience until she's feeling good. When she's feeling good, strong, confident, we'll get a better idea of how she does with other dogs.
Yeah. We did a little field trip with her a few days ago just to get her out and around other people, and she did great. She wasn't startled by noises because she's deaf, but wasn't startled by the real world, which was great. And the one thing that we do know, no cats for this one, no kitties. She did not like our cats.
Full-blown prey drive through the roof.
Yeah.
And she looks like she has a lot of life right now. She is 11.
11, yep.
So we'll see. Again, we usually give it a little bit longer with dogs like this, because it's not uncommon for the senior dogs we rescue the first month or 2 with us to have this like crazy second wind, because they feel good.
Yo, like
and
this.
They're in a good environment.
Hi. Hello. Come here. Oh, deaf.
She can't hear you.
We still do that to our deaf dogs.
They're not used to company all the time. Hi, Goldie.
Goldie.
I know, I still call even though she's deaf. I don't know what I'm doing.
Goldie. I usually have to like wave my hands around.
But it's not uncommon for them to get that second wind, and then they kind of settle in and you see exactly what you're working with. So we'll give it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But so far, Goldie's been phenomenal. Yeah. Okay, but I guess before...
there.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Well, before even, put on a couple more pounds, we have a few masses to remove, and then she desperately needs a dental. She actually has a fractured or 2 fractured teeth, I think a fractured canine.
Yeah.
Which so we'll take care of that.
And I know we actually didn't talk about this. We talked about it with our vet. It might be one of the reasons that she lost so much weight, because I soak her food every night, 20 minutes before we're about to feed her. Her kibble gets soaked. It's really soft. Then we add wet food on top of that. Her family might have just been throwing kibble down, and that tooth might be killing her.
I think they most likely, just because Birdie is aged at 2 with her body, and our vets were like, she has the teeth of a 7-year-old. Like they're just, it's like awful. She's been chewing on rocks her whole life.
Yeah.
Goldie, same thing. So, maybe they didn't have the money to feed their dogs and waited too long. And they were just trying to eat anything they could.
I'm just laughing at the phone.
Oh, I know, inception time, sorry.
Trying to kill multiple birds with one stone.
We're always busy. But I mean, that could have been it too. Again, it's just, we don't know, because
I always call.
They dropped off the dogs and didn't give notes. That is one thing with owner surrenders. you know, I wish they would just take time to give you good notes because it would make this a lot easier.
Yeah.
But Birdie and her, Goldie, their teeth are destroyed. Like they've just been, in our vet's words, chewing on rocks.
Right. Well,
So
and
they could have been scouring, trying to find stuff.
right.
It's hard to tell.
They're a case that, again, because the owners brought them in as owner surrenders, and the shelter sees that as a cry for help, even though they stated that both dogs, even though they're 2 different ages, have the same medical condition where they're eating a ton of food and not gaining weight.
Yeah.
And now we can clearly see that that's not the case. It's not a medical condition. They were just not eating.
Yeah.
This might be a case where we can ask for an investigation.
Yeah, we can ask. I just want to clarify though, because people sometimes get frustrated.
Yeah.
Steph and I can't just do that on our own.
Yeah, we don't have their
as a
addresses.
rescue, it's no different than the public shelters, city shelters being government funded. They have their set of rules. They can't legally give us the information for her owners. We don't get to know
that we get the same.
Yeah, we don't get those notes. Basically,
Yeah.
some shelters can move forward with the charges, or it's a third party, different organization that they hand that info to. And then their medical team does their own evaluation. They hand it off, and they decide if they move forward or not.
Right.
And Steph and I have obviously, with a lot of dogs, really, really pushed. And you know, it's just out of our hands, so
Yeah.
we focus on the dogs.
Yep.
It's the best we can do.
Yeah.
In life, when we rescued Barney, because it
We might have.
was around the time I was competing, I think.
Yeah, it was during
Right after?
summertime. I remember it being hot as hell out, and thinking this poor Pyrenees, who's a big furry mess, is just roaming around our neighborhood.
Well, we'd been trying to catch him for probably a month.
Yeah, he was posted a few times, and people kept on luring him into the house and then kicking him out the next day.
Well, it's kind of funny, kind of not, kind of sad. Little Duke died a little bit that day.
Oh, God.
The last post was there was a lady kind of in our community that took him in, and there was a picture of him in the bathroom. And I guess he had stayed there like 2 days. And she typed out and was like, look, I need this dog gone. My 6-year-old son is really bonding with him and they're playing together. And I can't have it. He needs to go. And then she threw him out. And I was like, bro, that poor kid. Like, dang. So that one killed me. So then it was a mission to really find him. But he's doing great. I mean, obviously we could insert, if you guys weren't here, I guess, some of the before. But he was extremely timid and scared. And he obviously has adapted just fine to indoor pet life.
Yeah.
Oh, Barney boy.
I think he actually prefers it. Whenever there's a storm, he does not want to be outside. If it's sprinkling, he does not want to be outside.
I don't know how he survived outside.
I know.
He's one of the worst panickers in the house with storms.
Yeah. And he doesn't
Will
like
not
break
meltdown.
out of a crate or anything. He's just
Will not
panting.
meltdown.
Doesn't like fireworks.
Nope.
Again, is not destructive, just
Fuck this
is
thing.
panting.
Yeah.
But he's a very, very sweet dog. He gets along with most of the dogs in our house, for the exception of the unaltered peers. Are the only ones where we're
That
like,
doesn't-
whoa,
that
maybe.
doesn't count.
No, I was like, maybe he just wants to be the only peer in the house because he's been with Sammy, who's a male dog. I just don't think he can deal with unaltered males. So, but he's been around little dogs, hyper dogs. He gives really great corrections. He lets a dog know when he's had enough. He gets zoomies for like 5 minutes and then he's lounging the rest of the day. So
he's actually Candace's playmate right now.
yeah.
And he did give her a good correction a few days ago.
Yeah.
So he's very well tempered, I think. The unaltered male thing is pretty common. I'm not worried about that.
It's actually, we don't really do dog intros until males are fixed. But as soon as those males entered the house, Barney could smell it. And the other male dogs could smell it. Anakin started acting weird around the time they came. Simba started acting weird. So, you know, other male dogs were definitely on edge in our house when we brought the 2 unaltered peers into the house.
Oh, good boy. Barney.
Barnacles.
Barney.
Come on, let's go this way.
Well, we had a little bit more to do, but they kind of got away from us. And
I think in a few weeks it's daylight savings, and we'll be gifted another hour of light, and it'll be dark around 8:30 p.m. It's 6 p.m. right now, and
if somebody could get a petition going to get rid of daylight savings, that'd be great. Like, we could kill it.
We need more sunlight, just for
comment
our
below
mental.
if you're sick of daylight savings. Help us out. But yeah, no, I think that's it.
Well, thanks for hanging with us, and working out with us and hearing us ramble
Yeah,
between sets.
we knew we weren't gonna have time for the podcast, so we just decided to talk during the workout today.
Yeah.
Entertain you guys with ourselves.
Hopefully some people find us funny. Comment below. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Don't forget to
like, comment, share, subscribe.
and
Also, yeah, seriously, hit the subscribe button.
please,
If you guys are here, hit the
share our
subscribe.
videos. It really does help. We want to get more people on this channel so that we can make more content and spread the good word of rescue and save more dogs.
And also get more of you guys to adopt our dogs so we can go rescue
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
Nice.
Save more kiddos. All right, catch you guys next time. Come on,
Bye-bye.
there's a truck.